Reading comprehension is a lot about understanding relationships in the text. And one of the most important relationships in a text is cause and effect. Writers often show cause and effect relationships with a lot of different methods. They might use nouns or verbs, verb phrases, and we call these cause-effect markers in the sentences. Writers also might show cause-effect relationships between clauses and sentences. So there's some signal phrases and some cause-effect markers that can help us understand those relationships as well. If you learn how to recognize cause and effect relationships, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to understand academic text, a lot easier for you to recognize relationships between ideas in academic text, and so better improve your understanding. So what you're seeing now is a scan of your textbook, and I just want to walk you through the explanation of this example here so that you understand how to do these exercises on your own. So we have a paragraph here, a short paragraph that has some cause-effect markers in it. So let's read through it very quickly. In 2008, there was a serious outbreak of foodborne infectious diseases in the United States. The government quickly attributed the outbreak to contaminated tomatoes sold in restaurants and grocery stores. The government later discovered that the cause of the outbreak was, in fact, a different vegetable, contaminated peppers. According to health officials, these peppers contained high amounts of bacteria. As a result, thousands of people became ill when they ate these contaminated vegetables. So one thing I want you to notice, first of all, is that sentence one is just the introduction. It contains the event, and then the rest of the paragraph is going to explore the causes of this event. So basically, the first sentence, outbreak of foodborne infectious diseases, that's our result. And now we're going to talk about the causes. Well, right away, you might see attributed to. And these two words tell us immediately that there's a cause-effect relationship here. Now, in a moment, we'll look at a table and I'll explain to you the direction that these go. But so right away, you see this word attributed to, you know there's a cause-effect relationship. In sentence 3, you see another cause-effect connector, the cause. And you'll notice that this is usually with a linking verb, like the be verb here was. Again, we know we've got a cause-effect connection here. In this case, we can see the cause-effect relationship very clearly. The connection is as follows. Contaminated peppers causes this outbreak. Okay, so in this case, the cause of the outbreak, the cause of, that tells me that that's the effect, and that contaminated peppers, that's the cause. The be verb is kind of like an equal sign. If I say the cause was, that's kind of like saying the cause equals whatever comes after the be verb. Sentence 4 is just giving us more details of that cause-effect connection. So that's kind of like a supporting sentence there. And then we see some more cause-effect connectors here as a result. So the high amounts of bacteria, as a result of this, that's the cause. Thousands of people became ill. That's my effect. Okay, so I'm going to move on to your next textbook page, which is a list of the cause-effect markers. One thing that's really helpful for you to do is to identify which direction the cause and effect goes in. Does the cause come first and then the effect? Or does the effect come first and then the cause? So with nouns, it kind of depends on how you organize things. For example, I could say the cause is, and that means what comes after the verb, or after the verb is, that's my cause, because the verb is, that's like an equal sign. However, if I use a preposition, for example, if I say the cause of this is that, that changes things a little bit. There's a lot of different ways that I could structure that to say different things. So, for example, I could say the cause of the accident was the weather conditions. So in this case, the cause was the weather conditions. But I could change the order of my sentence. I could say it a little bit differently, and I could say the weather conditions were the cause of the accident. So in this case, I've changed the order around a little bit. The weather conditions are still the cause, but the order has changed a little bit. So just be aware of that as you're using nouns and you're trying to identify nouns, that the cause and effect might come in different places. With verbs and verb phrases, it can be varied. So I want to go through some of them with you and just identify which ones are which. So to affect, something affects something else. The cause comes first, and then the effect. To attribute to, something attributes to a result. So again here, that's not correct. Something is attributed to, an effect is attributed to a cause. So with this one, the effect actually comes first, and then the cause. If something is a factor in something else, that's cause first and then effect. If something is associated with something else, that's effect first and then cause. If something is responsible for something, the cause is responsible for the effect. If something blames something else, you would say that the effect is blamed on the cause. With bring about, cause comes first. A cause brings about the effect. Same thing with using cause as a verb. So notice the difference, right? Over here on the left-hand side, we used cause as a noun, but now we're using cause as a verb. So here it would be a cause causes an effect. Same thing with contribute to. A cause contributes to an effect. A cause can give rise to an effect. A cause can have a role in effect. A cause can influence an effect. A cause can lead to an effect. A cause can play a part in an effect. A cause can produce an effect. This is the opposite here. Now pay attention to the prepositions here. To result from and to result in. When you use from, the effect comes first. So an effect results from a cause. But when you use in, the cause results in an effect. A little bit tricky, something to remember. The next chart, this one kind of has some of them already laid out for you. So just pay attention to where you see the cause, because those connecting words, as goes with a cause, if goes with a cause, but then goes with the effect, so that goes with the effect. So just these connecting words are used in a little bit different ways. A few things to remember. Look for cause-effect markers and connectors to identify parts of a text that show cause and effect organization. Don't always expect writers to describe the cause first and the effect later. Make notes while you read. That's really helpful. Use C for cause, okay, and use E for effect. And then draw arrows to help you understand which direction it's going. I want to walk you through the first couple of exercises so you understand how to do them. The first one is done for you, looking at the cause and effect relationships. Many infectious diseases are caused by unsafe water and unsanitary living conditions. So the first thing that they've done here is they've circled the cause-effect marker are caused by. So they identified what the cause-effect marker is. And then we know that cause, right? If we go back to our chart, to cause, the cause causes the effect. So now let's take a look at skill practice 1, and I just want to walk you through a couple of these so you know how to do this exercise. So the example is done for you. You can see that the cause effect marker, our caused by, is circled. The direction is going kind of backwards, where the effect comes first and the cause comes second. So many infectious diseases is the effect, and unsafe and water and unsanitary living conditions is the cause. Think about what happens first and what happens second. So in order to have these infectious diseases, we first have to have unsafe water and unsanitary living conditions. So that tells me that that's the cause. Because that has to come first, that's the cause. Let's look at number 2 together. So take a moment, read number 2, and then decide, first of all, what do you think is the cause effect marker? Pause the video now if you need to. What is the cause effect marker? Okay, so if you said that the cause effect marker is being blamed on, you are correct. Now let's think about what is the direction of the relationships. What's the cause and what's the effect? So which one had to happen first? A recent drop in hospital visits or the high cost of healthcare? Well, what had to happen first was that the cost of healthcare had to be high, right? If people thought the cost of healthcare was too high, they're not going to come to the hospital anymore. So that's what happened first. That's going to be our cause. And what happened second? The recent drop in hospital visits. The recent drop in hospital visits, that's going to be our effect. So that means that the direction is going backwards again. It's going this way. Now, as you try the exercise on your own, you might notice that it goes different ways. Sometimes the cause comes first, sometimes the effect comes first. And then when you finish going through this activity, there is an answer key available for you to check your answers. Skill practice 2. This is looking at a paragraph instead of a sentence. So your job is to look at the paragraph, identify some of the cause and effect markers, and then you're going to write the correct letter A, B, or C in the box corresponding to the cause effect diagram. What came first, what came second, and what came third. Now, it's going to be really important for you to highlight some cause effect markers in this paragraph so that you understand what the relationship is between the ideas. And keep in mind that it's not going to be always the cause first and the next cause, then the next effect. It might be a little bit different order. The last exercise is just asking you to put the cause effect marker in the blank space there. Now, each of those cause effect markers has a little bit different relationship between the ideas. You'll want to pay attention to prepositions and what kind of prepositions might be used, and how we can use those words in the context. If you have any questions, please post a question to the discussion board, questions asked and answered, or send me an email if you have another question.